It's Thursday. It's 9 p.m. GMT. Get your vape on, your drink in hand, and ladies and gentlemen, it's the Ideal Home Show! It's Thursday.
Hello.
He's playing again.
He's playing it again. That's it. Good fucked up intros. Mark hasn't unmuted himself. Oh, he's done it. He's done it.
Oh, how you doing, Mark?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Good. Pleasure to have you on this week, my friend.
Thank you, thank you. I'd just like to point out I'm wearing a waistcoat and just to honour Craig, who couldn't be here.
Why does that honour Craig? Just quickly.
Because he looks like a waiter.
Everybody, wait.
Sorry. And I'll be assuming his role tonight, so I'm just going to go and make a cup of tea. Okay.
Good work.
I'll be assuming his role tonight, so I'm
Someone's playing YouTube.
Yes, they are. It isn't me though, but someone's definitely playing YouTube.
Yeah, it was me. That's all fixed now. I've just royally fucked the start of this show tonight.
We loved it. You got well. It played. That is the good bit. It played twice. That's true, but it played.
Didn't realise I had a YouTube open, so that was exciting. Anyway, right, everybody, welcome to the Ideal Home Show. It's Thursday. It's 9 o'clock. We're having some. We're giving it some beans, and hopefully everybody is running as they should do, apart from a little bit jumbled at the front end there. So, thanks very much for joining me. Just a bit of housekeeping as usual. If you're seeing us anywhere other than thehomepage.com or YouTube, then you shouldn't be seeing us there. So, please let us know. Thank you very much indeed. So, who have we got on tonight? Apart from my dubious haircut, we have young John, Big J's agent.
Hello, it's very nice to see you.
We have, I'm going to say that, Mr. Modmaker, Rick.
Cheers.
And as a special guest host this week, ladies and gentlemen, be upstanding for Mark's.
I forgot his last name.
Thank you.
Didn't know whether to say Todd's reviews or whatever. Anyway, how are we doing, Mark?
I'm not bad. I still have more subs than you, Dean.
Shut up. I'm like 3 away from 7,000. Very exciting.
Sorry, that was cool. That was cool. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming on and filling Craig's shoes. I think he's gone for a wedding dress fitting this evening. He's been watching that program about weddings on the telly and decided that he's having one. He's not getting married. He just wants a wedding dress, and you know, fair play to him.
I've got a little confession to make, and I hope you're not upset about it, Mark. But for tonight, only for tonight, I've had to change the picture.
Oh,
he is with us. So Craig is still with us, even if he's not here.
I'm actually a bit pissed off at that.
Oh, you are behind him, and he's soon.
I have this picture here.
As soon as the show's done, he's coming off, and you're going to be back at the front there, Mark. Don't worry about that.
That just sounds so wrong on so many levels.
I think it's quite disturbing that you're behind Craig. That's quite ominous that you're just looming behind him. Does he know?
Have we all had a good week anyway?
Yes.
Same old, same old.
Why is it a good one? Do you want to expand on that one, Johnny?
Me? Well, it's near the end of the week now, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Or I have to go to a board meeting every Thursday, which is superb. Always, and I gave blood today, and it's gone now. But I had a free squirrel tampon. And they just sellotape to the front. I gave it to a squirrel that I met. That was on the special time outside, which is great. Recycling. You're gonna get a lot of weird from me tonight. I have a funny feeling.
So, anything exciting happened with you, either of you guys, or shall we just move on to the hand checks?
I got pissed last night.
Good man.
Yeah, the kids stayed out, so They were at their auntie's, and me and Annie went out and had a little drink and a nice curry on the way home. So very pleasant.
Very good.
Makes a change for us.
Lovely job. And Mr. Todd, anything exciting for you, sir?
No, I just sold 3,000 bottles of Hansen oil, and that was about it.
I'm missing that. That's obviously an in joke that I don't get.
Yes.
Just oil. People going in shops and asking for oil.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes.
You ought to get some bottles of Castrol or something and have them behind the counter there, and there you go.
Yeah.
Does it look like Halford's, madam? No. No, it doesn't.
Right, so should we have a little crack on with some hand checks, see what we've got vaping on this evening, and then we may have a little
Go on then.
for the people afterwards.
Let's do that.
Right.
Let's do that, Dean. Let's do it.
Let's do that, shall we?
Yeah.
I put myself all off kilter at the start. So, John, let's break the rules. Let's go for all the different stuff you've got this week. Let us know what you're vaping.
Tonight I am vaping on every fucking week. This is a vapor flask, and on top is a vapor giant, and it's full of raspberry mint. Which I will just say, someone asked on the group the other day. They put a meme up, and it said, "Oh, what it feels like to run out of juice." And I thought, I don't know what that feels like. I've never done that in 3 years. I've always got, once it gets below like a litre, I start going, no, I'm worried. I need to get more. So I was down to my last 100 ml of raspberry mint, but luckily I got another bottle, so I'm fine now. I'm okay. From the local shop, the Vaping Emporium, at lunchtime. Simon, I owe you some money because they didn't know what to charge me, so just give it to me. Message me, I'll sort you out.
Vape fame, innit?
Yeah, hashtag John Boyce buys it. What else have I got? I have really fallen in love with the K-Fun Mini V3. I still think it's fucking awesome. And in it today is Vaping King's Slime, which I don't know where the bottle is because I've got a Secret Garden here, but it's slime. It's 18 milligrams slime in there today because I'm hard, And last, but by no means least, I got a couple of bottles of liquid from the Lancashire Steam Company this week. One of which was brass nipple, which is, they always use steam engine terms and things like that. And a brass nipple, I assume, is a part of the steam engine. And this is, it's hard to explain really. It's their take on raspberry mint, but they've not tried raspberry mint, so it's a mint and fruit sort of combination. But they use a mixed fruit. There's sort of a bit of spearmint, a bit of peppermint, and that's nice actually. I like that. It's not overly powerful. It's nice. But today I've got, so on top of the Corrosive Creations mod, I've got, oh my god, I don't know what it is about this.
Velocity.
Velocity, there you go. A Velocity dripper that has got strawberries and cream. Oh, that's not a steam engine part, is it? By Lancashire Steam Company. That was good. Don't pause. See, that Mark's laughed and made everyone realise I just dropped it. But and that's quite nice. Neil did tell me to wait a couple of days before I vaped it because it needs some aging, not steeping.
Totally steep.
And that's what I'm vaping on this evening. And now we'll find out what Rick's vaping on.
Me. Or is it Mark? It's Mark next.
No, I'm fucking, look. Balls to vape phone.
Look at the sheet.
Yeah, okay. Mark, what are you vaping on?
Thank you for asking, John.
No problem.
Right. How long does Dean normally go on for at this bit?
About 3 minutes, mate. Not long.
23 minutes.
23 minutes, yeah. But see if I can go on longer. Today I am vaping with this just arrived. This is the Evolver from Darwin Mods. I did have the 18500 one. I now have an 18650 one. And I asked him if he could do one in the same wood that he did my Skunk 2 in. So he made that for me, and that arrived, and I'm chuffed to hell. I've got a Narda sitting on it.
So that Squonk one you just showed us, there, Mark, is that the posh one of Dean's.
Yeah.
Dean got the
Yeah,
core
yeah.
one of those.
No,
That's-
mine's even more hard to get because it's 3D printed. He's not doing them.
Yeah, yeah. That's the sub 10,000 sub one, the 3D print. I'm also vaping on with my Anatolian SX with the soon-to-be released gem with wide airflow by Mark Buggs. It's very airy. If you had a shot of the original gem, it was more a mouth to lung. This one you can do full lung hits on it if you so desire. Very, very good.
I might like that.
Is that 'cause you're a cowboy cloud chaser now?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Also vaping Anatolian theme, Anatolian Joule 18650 mech with the Snapdragon, and juice-wise, Grumpy Custard. Been vaping with that this week, and also this arrived today from
The chains?
Ian.
Oh.
Ian Austin. Is it Ian Austin? He sent on this donut juice custard. I think he posted up in SV. He got just a new company that's just started, and I must admit that all donut juices I've ever tried have been bleh, but this is actually not too bad.
I'm with you on the donut juice affliction.
Yes.
I don't like it normally.
There are many other things I could show you, but I will behave and be good.
Unlike the bearded one.
Yeah, Rick, what you got anyway?
Right, I've got a couple of new bits this week, and thanks to John for sending it up. Sent me some stainless wire, and
And a signed and an autographed picture.
oh yeah, where is it?
If you can get eBay it.
I'm gonna when we get really famous, and I'm gonna sell it.
Thank you, Pete Nixon, for doing that piss take movie poster, because it was very, very funny.
If I get lots of money for it, I'm going to put it all behind the bar and drink it all. But no, he sent me the stainless wire, and I don't know, have you tried stainless now, Mark?
Yes.
I don't know, I haven't spoken to you about this, but I think you might agree that this could be the solution to all the confusion that's out there with temperature control and everything. So basically, I think this is as good as Campbell, and we can do away with nichrome and titanium.
Correct. I agree with you. There was some strange bearded man told me about it, so I went and bought some, and I hate to admit that he was right. It is very good.
It is, isn't it? So, for the first time ever, I'm actually enjoying vaping temp control.
Yeah.
With stainless, and it also works nicely in wattage. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, the great thing is, if it doesn't fucking work, just turn the power mode on and you're off again. It makes no difference.
Exactly that. It's great. I mean, it's so confusing, isn't it? I mean, I never got on with the NI200.
Never.
I don't like space calls. They take too long, too fiddly. You can't dry burn them to get them spacing right. And I think stainless is the solution to that. So everybody stop buying NI200 and titanium, buy stainless. Use your camp fill up and get rid of that as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we stick with one type of wire. So yeah, I've been using that and temp control for the first time, and it actually works. And I'm liking it. So, yeah, that's that. Got a new tank as well this week. It is a monster. The UWell Raphael.
Someone needs to get the a screenshot of that face of you saying it's a monster.
It really is a monster, though, Dean. Seriously, it's a tank that the airflow is 3 times out of any sub tank I've ever had. So you have to close it right down just to make it anywhere near normal. I had this thing cranked up to 100 watts, and it was wicked all right. I bought it with the VRBA deck, which is the rebuildable deck. It comes with some stock coils, but I like building my own coils. And I got a surprise when I got it, because it looks like a ball ache to make. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a vertical coil.
No, it's all out of focus, buddy.
Yeah, well, just as well, because it's going to be hard. And they very kindly didn't send me an Allen key, so I can't actually use it anyway. But more on that, when I find the size out, I will coil it up, and hopefully it will tame it down a bit. But at the moment, it's just ridiculous. 100 watts, and it can cope. So yeah, a tank that can really take a battering. Finally, I'm very happy today because somebody has been very kind to me, and that person is John Payne. He sent me a mod.
Look at that.
It's awfully pretty.
It's lovely. I'm really loving it. So thanks ever so much, John. You're a legend, mate. That's great. He's going to start making them to sell as well. So he isn't yet, but he's going to soon. And I can vouch for the quality. It's lovely. So thanks. Yeah, and on that, I've got my Derringer resurrected. My little Derringer, and I'm vaping my homebrew tonight. Blackcurrant, 6 milligram in that because it's a single battery. I need a bit of kick on that, and my Voodoo Brew in the other two. Dean.
Nice. Right. Here we go. Sit down. Get comfy. We have got up front. We've got the what is it? E Mini. I've not taken you off presenting. There we go. We've got the E Mini with my abalone and the magic one. That we do a little bit of that, and then we go like that, and then it's wood. Oh, exciting that is.
How are you getting on with that then?
Yeah, loving it. I really do like it. I broke a bit of the abalone the other day off the corner, which is most upsetting. You can kind of see that in this bottom corner here, which is a bit of a pain in the hoop. But I'm really enjoying the mod. I
was wondering if that was like sent down from God. It had sort of told you to stop having one side wood and the other side abalone. I thought the only way to do that is to hex you and make you fuck up one side
and break it. We use it like a carpentry place for work, and they make all sorts of wood things for us. And they've got a load of offcuts of interesting bits of wood. So I'm going to see about buying some sort of slices of wood that I can shape and actually have real sort of thick, kind of curvy wood on the sides. So that should be interesting. But I'm really enjoying the mod. That's going really well. I've got the Geek Vape Griffin on the top, which is essentially a Cryos, but a little bit more of an Obed, I think. But it does have a bigger deck if you want to build on that. So yeah, that's interesting. I have also got, and I'm only going to say 3 others. We've got the Vape Forward Classic with the dot mod Petrie on it from Rach and Dan, which I am loving, with my cheeky little dot mod drip tip on there. We've got the Stout with the Tugboat V3, which I've actually taken the top airflow kind of out. I mean, I've still got it, sorry, but the control off in favour of this funky bad boy drip tip, which Mr. Muddit sent me today, which is fucking lovely. So thank you very much, Mr. Muddit. Let me just do an up close and personal. I've never heard of these before, but Cupcake. Fucking bore on that bad boy. Look at that.
Huge.
Hey?
That makes sense that Muddit had it. He has got a massive gob.
Oh, yeah.
So,
if you don't know who Daniel Muddit is, go and check it out. He looks like Peter Sutcliffe's stepbrother. Not stepbrother, little brother. He's mental.
It's a funny old thing because it feels strange against the lips. But yeah, I'm really liking it. But obviously that means I've got all the airflow full mashings open on there. But I'm enjoying that. In there I have got the fuck me, which flavour is it? This is Nola from Lane Cove. In the Petrie I've got Dark Star from Stash. And this turned up today all the way from France, which I'm very excited about, and I'll talk about in the well, will I talk about it in the news? We'll see. But the Goblin V2 and a bit of hair. The Goblin Mini V2, which is pretty sweet, to be honest. Top fill, all of that sort of good stuff, and I just coiled it up before the show started, so I am now seeing what it behaves like. Even though I think I fucked the wicket on it, but we'll see. We'll see. It might keep up. But in there, I've got another bloody what's name Samantha from Nola, from Lane Cove, sorry, in there, which I'm enjoying very much as well. Not Samantha, lying to you.
Have we got any more news on when the Lane Cove range is coming over?
No. I don't know whether someone in chat can help us.
They're asking.
They're asking in chat where you got it. I'm just saying you won it. So
yeah, I did. I won it because I'm a good-looking bastard.
He won it on the Plumes raffle.
Oh,
It was randomised.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
That's why I won a better prize.
But yeah, so I won it. So I am I'm rocking that, but I'm nearly out. So I will have to get some more. But no. So that is it for me. I'm keeping it fairly simple tonight.
I think we should. I think we've got someone special hiding, like a child.
We've not let him on the show yet, just in case he takes over and everyone goes "Roar!" Then just doesn't listen to it.
That's all they're waiting for. They're not waiting for it. They're
Yeah,
not
they don't
doing
care
the
about
watch.
Is he coming on now? Is he coming on now?
Yeah, I think so.
Hang on, I've got my baby wipes ready.
So we don't mess it up.
Right, so are you ready, John? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. I Get You 69. It's Scott Bonner. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome to the show, Scott.
Woohoo!
Thank you for having me.
It's going far.
Yeah, fine.
It's nice to know that the last couple of weeks we've had pretty smooth sort of starts to the shows, and I've not fucked anything. It's all been good.
Yes, you did. You fucked up last week.
I did, didn't I? Yeah.
I thought that was intentional. It was brilliant.
It's a thing. But no, the night that we have, John looks like he's sandwiched between Mark and Scott, by the way.
Where he likes to be, I have to say.
Yeah, two vape legends on, and I royally fuck it. Anyway, welcome in. What are you vaping on, Mr. Bonner, sir?
Nothing quite as exciting as what you guys have got. I'm just using my cuboid with a Cleto.
Lovely old job.
Oh, they're good though, aren't they? My friend bought a cuboid and a Cleto. He showed me, and it's bang on.
Well, yeah, Cleto, and I'm buying a cuboid for holidays, so.
I think, Mark, you enjoyed the cuboid, didn't you? Have you?
Yeah, very good. Have you firmware upgrade, Scott?
Yes, it's 200 watts now.
Yeah.
Not that I'd ever go up to 200 watts, but yeah, you can do if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just a good mod. You're getting good battery life out of it. What's a treat?
Yeah.
They're cheap as well, aren't they? I mean, they're about 40 quid or something like that.
To be quite, I got it about a month ago. I can't quite remember how much it was, but around that sort of price point, maybe a little bit more, because I got it from Joytech, so it probably was a bit more than other places.
Yeah, I think my friend bought one on GearBest for something like $46 or something.
Oh yeah, let you get it from there.
Yeah.
What juice you got in there, Scott?
Sorry?
What juice have you got in there? Is that some home brew or?
Old Faithful, the Titan Fluid Tobacco.
Titan Fluid Tobacco.
Quite diluted version of Titan Fluid Tobacco, anyway.
Fantastic.
I did see how to make the I Get You 69 mix of Titan Tobacco on your vlog last week, which was how many? It was sort of 100 ml of VG and a bottle of Titan, wasn't it?
Well, I'll just get an empty 100ml bottle, and then I'll buy the Titan Fluid Tobacco 18mg strength, and I'll get a 30ml bottle of that, pour it into the empty 100ml bottle, and then just fill the rest up with VG. So it should work out around sort of 6mg strength once it's all diluted down. And even though you are obviously diluting the flavour as well, the VG just actually makes a really nice flavour. So you can still tell it's Titan Fluid Tobacco, but obviously it's a little bit different compared to having it if it wasn't diluted. But it's a really nice flavour though, so it works out great for me because it makes it last a lot longer.
That was probably the only thing. Whenever I was watching your reviews, I went with every, kind of like, all right, that's how you make that, that's how you make that. And when you went Titan Fluid Tobacco, I was like, no.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't sell the concentrates for it, so that'd have been quite handy.
Yeah.
And there's a sort of thing about it's a bit of a no-no. People think that you can't bastardise a pre-made juice. I've got to disagree. My mate Bryn came round the day before yesterday, and he's got some grumpy custard, and he said, "I like it, but it's not sweet enough." So I said, "Well, chuck some sweetener in it," and he did. We put a little bit of sweetener in it, made it a bit sweeter, and he's raving about it today. So whatever works for you, I say.
Yeah. I used to buy my it's called ECigReviews by House of Liquids, and then I'd buy their menthol, the Baron menthol, and then just mix them 75-25, and it was like menthol fags. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
bollocks to it. It's your liquid. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Nice one. So let's go into some stuff we've got going on, ladies and gentlemen. The plan is that we're going to have a sort of reasonably normal show. The new host is clearly a virgin, so we'll pick on him as much as possible, and we'll be really nice to the guest for his first time on.
That sucks, doesn't it? That sucks.
that's not.
We
I'll leave him alone.
warned you.
Be nice to Mark.
And to be honest, you set us up. You're wearing a fucking waistcoat. I mean, that's like wearing a sign saying, "Seriously, just take the piss all the time."
This is a deflated life jacket. This is what I normally wear.
It's a life preserver. You're in the Navy. This is Back to the Future. It's 1986. Enjoy yourself.
But you got some news, John. Have you about some new liquids?
Oh yeah, no, that was just the new liquids I actually talked about, really, which was the Lancashire Steam Company stuff. Thank you, Neil, for sending them to me. That was very kind of you. He messaged me the week and asked me if I'd like to try a strawberries and cream and the menthol. Yeah. And the only other bit of news I've got, which is what Craig asked me to talk about, which I was going to anyway, which is that the Derby Vapers have got a meeting this Saturday, and they've got a raffle, and they've got loads of good stuff. I think 99% of it donated by Mr. Mark Todd, but and they're having a raffle anyway this Saturday. And again, it's for the Maria Hansen Foundation, or Me&D, which is for the families with terminally ill children and military families to go and stay in some caravans.
Oh, that's the charity you did before, isn't it?
It's the same charity, and Craig picked it up. We both did it at the same time. We've got a mutual friend who told us about the charity at New Year's, and Craig wanted to do a raffle for them, and I said I'd do something in SV, and the SV one just escalated because they always do, and. Yeah, but it's this Saturday. So if you're in Derby or you're near Derby, go to Vapey Jack's. It's a great little shop, and they're having a meet there this Saturday.
Nice one.
I just did the thing that somebody commented that I burp, and I thought I don't burp. I do because I don't go burp. I just go politely burp internally. I did it again. Sorry about that. I've been trying not to burp and don't touch my face because there's a drinking game on our Facebook page that if I touch my face, people will be drunk. So. Anyway, who else has got some news? Get Dean or Rick. I don't really.
Well, I think me and you are going to touch on this. Oh, I don't like to.
Yeah.
I don't like to bring drama in, but there was this video on Facebook been doing the rounds, hasn't it? And it's another 4-volt to the face.
Is the AmeriVape one, but I think our issue is just in case you've seen the AmeriVape, the guy who bought an AmeriVape mod and it exploded, and he's got an injury to his eye and what looks like an injury down the side of his face, and. The one thing you could tell from the mod, there's a lot of people saying it looks like he had a go at it with a hammer, which he might well have done afterwards. But what you can see, what's present, which I quite like Mooch. I don't know if Mooch is in chat. I don't think he is.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he is. Okay, so if Mooch was posting chat, to me, what was left was the outside of the battery still wedged in the mod, and so to me it looks like thermal runaway, and it's gone up. So AmeriVape's brilliant pressure release system, which we all know is on the bottom button because a certain reviewer mentioned the fact that it may not work. It didn't fucking work, and the top cap came off and it went past his face. So really, one thing they did really do is prove Mooch's point, which was that's why we have battery experts that are mod with a battery in it that's gone into thermal runaway. Doesn't matter how the fuck you release the pressure because it won't do it fast enough and it will explode, and it fucking did. And
it did, yeah, and then he exploded with his hammer and went on to beat the living shit out of his mod.
I'm wondering if he tried to get what was left of the battery out of the mod and used a hammer to do it. That was
the battery was in there.
He reckons it was a Samsung 25R, I think, if I remember correctly. He reckons it was a 25R. But from the sound of it, he'd abused the buggery of it, so the internal resistance was probably negligible by the time it went, and then it just exploded.
Yeah. But no, he went on to do another video after, didn't he? I mean, he got called out for it. He got called out for it, and he just went off. I don't know what he was talking about, to be honest.
He did.
I think everybody that was watching was black.
Yeah. What he did was he posted. He went public with the story that all mods are dangerous, and he'd given up vaping because it was bad for your health and it could kill you. And then he got what a lot of people get, which is vapors' revenge. And they went for him and called him a donut in no uncertain terms, and said it wasn't the mod's fault, it was your fault.
Oh, he went on to say how experienced he is as well, didn't he?
Yeah, to which he replied with a very, very sort of kind of like gangster. It was pretty fly for a white guy. In his car.
That's the thing. Yeah, we don't even want to mention the word, but it was every other word. He used the N word in it, didn't he?
Yeah,
I'm not even going to say because it's awful. But the bloke's not even black. That's how you might get away with it. He was black. He wasn't, though. It might be.
It was quite bizarre, and he had a sort of mental breakdown with a camera, which was good. But yeah, just in case anybody wants to know, it was his fault.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not. No one likes to see anybody get hurt, and he was obviously hurt a bit. But he said he had third-degree burns, and then he was all right 3 days later.
Yeah,
he was superhuman. It must be the vaping has sort of built his immune system up or something.
The one little pass I'll give him is that anyone who's ever, I remember with I can't remember what mod it was. No, what ATI it was. I think it was a sub-tank actually. You know, sometimes pre-made coils overwick, and you hit the button, and a little bead of liquid fires out of the drip tip.
Yeah.
Well, it hit me directly in the eye, and it is absolute fucking agony. And yeah, so if anything hitting you in the eye, it's incredibly painful. So if you got hit in the eye, I'm sure it was very, very painful. But he isn't blind. I have seen the next video when he wasn't blind. So yeah. No.
You would have thought you'd notice something was wrong though. If it hit him in the eye, was he actually vaping at the time? Because you must notice just getting hotter than the sun.
What mistake you've made there, Scott, is you used logic.
Oh, right.
That has no place. That has no place in this discussion.
No place in the media, logic. But yeah, this is what gets me. I mean, before a battery goes into thermal runaway, it will start venting a bit, and it'll get hot. And if you're holding it,
I will actually, because I said this, and I asked Mooch that how long you'd got if it got warm, how long, and he said no. He said if the internal resistance is low enough and you've abused the battery, he said you could have a millisecond if you hit that button.
Okay, I'm staying corrected. Right.
Yeah, it was only I did check that with Mooch. He said it wouldn't warm up. He said if you'd already done the damage to it by running the resistance too low on a battery over and over and over and over again, by the time it went, the internal resistance would be incredibly low, and when you hit the button, if it got into thermal runaway, it would give you no warning. It would just explode.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
But it can't happen. This is why we kind of say to people, check your builds, because I'm sure most people on this hangout right now have been vaping. Well, no, Scott's been vaping since 2008. So what's that? So 8 years. And I know I've been vaping 4 years, and I still check my build. I wouldn't put something on anything without checking it. Just especially if it's something new, check your builds and make sure you're within the amp range of the battery.
Yeah,
it's really simple.
That's why we have ohm readers, and there's a fuck ton of ohm readers, and some of them are not, the most accurate, but they're very rarely so far right you're going to fuck yourself. So unless you build,
it'll tell you if you've got a short.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the important bit. Yeah.
Sorry to go into a sort of diatribe, but I was trying to. It's kind of hard because we try and edge to not take the piss out of someone who's hurt themselves and been in hospital, but because that's awful. But they are the repercussions of something that was your fault.
I think he probably wouldn't have got a mention if he didn't do that second video going off proper homeboy like, you know. And
Do you know what I wish somebody had made a video, you know, saying that that possibly the pressure system on the vape mech mod wouldn't work. I mean, if only someone had done that. Well, you know, anyway, that's, you know, you can't go back in time.
no, you can't. But here's one other little thing, and I don't just touch on it.
Move on there though. Moose just posted the resistance goes up when abused, and it causes.
Oh, sorry.
So you got the wrong way around. Just.
Oh, sorry.
Cool.
Yeah, just one other little thing in the news this week, and it just made me chuckle. It's a bit rude, not rude, but it's a bit dirty, I suppose.
Dirty.
But my angle on it is good or bad parenting, okay? Because there's this fella in the States, and this kiddie actually, and his dad found his vape.
It didn't happen.
Found his vape, and he decided he didn't want his son to vape, so he took a piss in his bottle, and the boy went in and filled his juice up and had a vape on his dad's wee.
Can I read out the bit that he said?
Yeah, do.
I am livid right now. I don't know what to do, knowing that I lost my Gangatex Subbox Mini, a type of vape pen, my Horizon Arctic tank, and $20 in juice, along with the fact I vape my own father's piss.
Do you know what though? But it is, anybody who's a member, if anyone's on Reddit, I mean, this didn't happen. It didn't. It's just somebody trying to get upvotes, which they did, and loads of attention.
Yeah, it can't be real.
I don't believe anyone vaped their own piss. If Dad's piss, if you did it, you've only had one drag. Anyway, it's perfect. It's sterile, isn't it, piss? So don't worry about it.
It isn't actually. I looked into it to see if it is bad for you, and it isn't actually that bad for you.
It's
You know,
Pretty sure it's
I
not.
think if Bear Grylls vaped, he would vape his own piss. Do you think?
He would, yeah.
Yeah, Bear Grylls would do it, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Bear
got to be
Grylls
right. Bear
vaping,
Grylls
I
do
know.
it. But no, one other little bit of news, and it's still sort of up in the air, not final decision stuff. But I spoke to Yeehee again, and they're still not. I think they've stopped making the SX350s now. You know, I said I want some, and they've given me. I said, oh, if we decide we're going to make them, we'll let you know, and it'll be 2 months before you get any. So it looks like they're just pulling the plug on that board.
And it's just to clarify, it's the 350. It's not the J.
Not the 350J, no. But it's what it's showing to me. I mean, a lot of people, as we know, the high-end modders, still like those boards, and it's just sort of showing me a bit. This is the feeling I've got with it, is that they're not really interested in modders and the boards that they sell to them. They're more interested in their SX Mini mods and the like. So I don't know. Not too happy about that really, but I'll keep on at them and hopefully they'll still make them. But
Just let them know who you are, mate. That's all, mate.
I'll tell them. You know who you're talking to, the Ideal Home Show, Rick, mod maker.
Get on it. Right, what about Mr. Todd then? Have you got anything that you want to bring up that you've seen in the news or vaping related shit?
Yes, I've done my preparation.
He's got a thing about the Amerivape pressure release system.
Just a bit of a shout out actually. This Sunday in Drury Street in Glasgow, for all you jocks and Scots out there. That's Scots, not Scot. The Glasgow School of Vape shall be on once again. I think this is the 3rd one. It's the retailers, raffles, rebuildables. The BBC are going to be there filming as well for, I think it's a Horizon programme, Panorama, one of these things. So they'll be there filming as well. And there also will be fried Mars bars and beer.
Fantastic.
Oh, what more could you want?
That's a lie, I made that bit up. Anyway, yeah, so that's on at 12 o'clock on Sunday.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Excellent.
And other than that, the only other bit of news I've got is, yes, £3 from Poundland. Johnson's baby wipes.
Before, you can tell it's Scotland. We're only £1 each down here. We don't. It's a bargain. Got there.
It's the best vape accessory you can get for cleaning your drip tips and stuff like that.
Fantastic. Did you want to show your
Really?
Well,
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I could do a blatant another shout out. This is I got this. Well, I originally, this is from Aphrodite Designs. This is a zero sleeve, and I originally asked Paula to make this. I was going to buy this and whatnot, but she gifted it to me after we had a little charity raffle for Mind, which I will not harp on about because I've been talking about it a lot. So I just want to say thank you to Paula for making this. Is really is a beautiful piece of work. So if you're looking for a zero sleeve, Aphrodite Designs, go and have a gander.
she does Tesseract sleeves as well, doesn't she? Or am I dreaming that?
No. She did that Tesseract sleeve there as well.
Wow, looks lovely.
But she's a talented lass. She really is. And yeah, and that's it from me.
Fair enough. And I don't know if I mean, we haven't asked you, Scott. Is there anything caught your eye over the last sort of recent times of either something stupid being released, or great, or something you're looking forward to, or anything in the news, anything along those lines?
No.
Fair enough.
Short and sweet. No, I'm very much out of the loop. I don't even know where you guys hear about all these new mods and that come out. It must be. Is it all done via Facebook or something? So I very rarely use Facebook, but I'll never get to hear any of these things.
We scare people by there's many injunctions out against us for just basically chasing people down and hounding them until they tell us something new's coming out.
Yes.
Oh, right.
I have one against Dean already. I have one against Dean.
Yeah,
That's actually something I've missed out on. Actually, I should ask everybody who makes mods out there, do me a favour and drop Yeehee an email and say you've got to sell Rick some more SX350s because we want them. If we get a load of people to do that, they'll make them, I reckon. Hound them.
So the only kind of news that I want to go with, I mean, I did my reviews of the Vape Forward stuff last night. That's all gone really well. Just in case you haven't seen them and you've been interested in the Vape Forward stuff, if you've had a Classic and your battery door hasn't is kind of a bit wobbly and it's not working out overly well, that will be because of this here ribbon. That ribbon, especially if you've got a battery with a reasonably thick wrap, that ribbon will actually cause the door to pivot a little bit on top of the battery, which makes it go a little bit wobbly. If you just put the ribbon down the side or in the middle or somewhere out of the way, then that all stops and your door then fits on lovely and it's nice and back in the way it should be. So that's a little tip for that one. And also, and I don't know if you knew about this as well, John, I guess you probably did, but because this is called the Classic, I didn't understand why the 510 wasn't over the buttons the same as it is on the other two. And apparently it's because when this was made as a righty finger firer, the screen was on this side above the button, and so when you were vaping, you could, there you go, you could potentially look at the screen at the same time.
Eyeball it, yeah. You can't. It's too close. Look.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, just a quick one. I can't run off camera. My neighbour just got locked out of their place and just banged on the window, and my window faces a locked yard. I thought I was going fucking mental. Someone was knocking on the window, and I was thinking, that's impossible. How the fuck is there someone knocking on the window?
And just a super quick first. Oh, sorry, the stout as well. If you haven't used a stout or haven't seen any of the reviews, you'll notice that when you close the door, there's a big old gap there, which you then have to push, and then that closes the gap. That's by design rather than a fuck up, because the 26650s range in length a little bit. So there's like a mil and a half difference in some of them, I think. They didn't want to put too much pressure on the hinge, so it means that by having that little extra play in there, by pushing it up so it clicks into place, it just doesn't put too much pressure on the hinge when you're closing it and twisting it. So
that's what I'd have said if I fucked it up.
Yeah. It's meant to be like that. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Oh yeah, no, design feature that.
Yeah. No, it does actually.
I've just got to let my cat out. I'll be back in a minute. Right?
I've got a neighbour locked out. Scott's cat running around.
It does actually look like it is meant to be here because it clicks rather than anything else. And anybody that's whinged about having, like, sliding that off and the that piece upsetting the battery wrap, I can't understand how that happens. I haven't had that happen at all, and it's kind of designed so it doesn't do that. So that's a bit strange. The other thing is with the Goblin Mini V2, you'll see that the top has been made a little bit bigger because in the when you get it, it has this this metal drip tip on it. I'll go close up, shall I? Let's do some of that business. Look all professional for a second. It has this metal drip tip on it with added lip gunk from me, and it's nice and short and dumpy. The idea being you then unscrew the top, like so, unscrew, 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 and then wang your juice down the hole. So it's top fill, which is nice.
That's quite a bit different to the old one, isn't it, Dean? That's something that really bugged me about the old one, is you had to put this silly metal piece in there to put 510 and it rattles around a bit. Yeah,
but the the thing is with this one, in the pack as well, you get the glass, the old glass strip tip, or Pyrex strip tip. You get another tank and all that sort of malarkey as well. But you also get one of these little heat puppies, heat sink jobbies. Now that has the O-ring on the inside of it, so you have to, if you want to use the glass strip tip, you wang out the normal one, you stick your heat sinky jobby in the top there, and then that goes in the top, which makes it quite large.
Quite fucking ugly.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for its good, does it?
But see what you did there.
You have to use that because this top cap otherwise won't fit in there. So unless I'm completely missing something, which is always possible, but I don't think so, that does not work out overly well. And I quite like the glass strip tip, but there you go. I mean, obviously it means that you can put your own shit in there as well, so you can do whatever you like. So far, though, even though I made a wank job of the wicket, and this has got one of those lovely kind of carved out airflow bollocks.
See, that's the burp I do. Well done, Dean. That one.
Thank you, mate.
Isn't that meant to do something about spitback, Dean?
No, that's meant to make the air go. Woo! So clouds for days, bro. And yeah, that totally does that, obviously. But as far as I know, there's nowhere in the UK with these in stock at the moment. There were 2 places that sold out pretty damn sharpish. I bought mine for £10 over what you would, or nearly £10 over what you would normally class as retail over here, from a place called eliquid.fr over in France, or it's e-liquid with an E on the end as well, -fr. Which I can't remember exactly how much I paid, but I think it was like 30. Overall, I think I paid like 36 quid or something. Which is a bit of a worry, but there you go.
Pardon me.
But as performance, I mean, I've only had it cracking on tonight, and it's going to take a lot more use to get any kind of real idea from. But it seems to be doing exactly the same as the other one did, if not with a touch more airflow, which is nice, and I'm enjoying it. And it's a flavourful, warm vape.
Lovely.
Can you do that, blowing it from the side and then turn around and do a little grin, Dean?
Oh, that's my favourite bit.
That's great. I was going to edge up to that and ask Mr. B to do one of those later on. Yeah, we'll all do it with you just for a moment.
I've practiced it. It's more difficult than you think.
Absolutely, but it does mean you can get some fantastic screen grabs.
Yeah, we've been abused.
We all get that, don't worry about it.
Absolutely. So let's have a little look at some showcasey stuff, shall we?
Yeah, got a few things. Not going to go into too much depth about them this week, but just a few mods I've seen that have stood out for me this week on the showcase group. And the first one is from our old friend Tim Davies, and I'll screen share that. he's been up to his usual etching shenanigans, and he did a nice box and a nice etch. So I thought I'd better show that because it stood out for me.
I really like that. I
don't think I've seen a cleaner lined etch done yet. So yeah,
I think a lot of them are overcomplicated, and that isn't. But it looks great.
It takes a box
Is that
standard.
done by hand?
I think he's got a vinyl cutter. He must have, and he just picked off the bits that he wanted etched. So I think it was a complicated one. A lot of work picking off those bits.
It's a piece of piss. What are you on about?
I don't know about that, but
I don't think my eyes could cope with that. I'd get like a quarter of the way down and go, nah, fuck that. It's just gonna be...
But no, I just think it looks really nice, and I think it's worth a
Look
quick
at
show on
that,
here.
all polished up. Oh yeah,
That is nice.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, look, it's lovely for a box, 15 quid box, and it looks like that after an etch. It's great, very nice.
Is this the chap that did your one?
Yeah,
Oh, lovely.
it is. Yeah, but I'm not just showing it because you did me that one.
No. But I'm thinking about if you want to show your one as well, because it's another example of his great work.
Well, there we go. I can do. Here it is. Here's the one he did for me.
Oh my god.
That.
Plume style Rick. Lovely.
Very cool.
But no, there is another. I've got two more to show, and I think he's French. This fella, Thierry Dussajay. I'll probably pronounce that wrong, but just wanted to show this box he's made. It's not a finished mod yet, but he's just about to shove everything in it. I just thought it looked very nice.
I like that actually.
I don't like that.
You don't like it?
No, fan. I thought you'd
No,
done
I
a bit
don't like
on the
the-
street.
I don't like the bits on the side.
No, it
No.
smacks of a souped-up XR3i.
But I thought it's quite alright.
I quite like that. I'm with you. I
I
quite
sort
like
of
the
agree
natural
about the
wood.
side bits. I do sort of agree about the side bits. They're going to feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's got a nice use of wood and metal, I thought. And finally, again, I decided I was going to show this before I received this mod, but John Payne made two mods, and here they are.
Classy.
And that one's mine. All mine.
It reminds me of. It looks. It did when you showed them. I think you showed them to us previously once before some of the preliminary ones and stuff. And it reminds me of the Torchwood, but it's like the Torchwood, like turned up to max kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Scott, you did a Torchwood review, didn't you? You liked the Torchwood ones.
Yeah. It's Touchwood, isn't it?
Oh,
Touchwood. Sorry, it's the fucking TV show. I don't watch any of that shit, but it's still
Yeah.
brain, doesn't it? Fuck.
Well, no, I just thought these were.
It's like a more flamboyant version of a Touchwood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That's pretty putting
Is
it
that a GGTS button on it?
I'm not even sure what the button is, to be honest. Let's have a look. I don't even know what button that is. Maybe you might tell us, John, in chat or something if you're in there.
Yeah, I think he was.
Looks like a GG button. It's
Yeah.
nice. Really, really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice to use. And here it is. That's mine. Look, that's mine. That one.
That looks even nicer with that white background because that really brings out all the colours as well.
Yeah, it is. I just couldn't believe. I've never had a stabilised wood mod before, so I've got this, and it's like holding plastic. It's just all.
Is it? What is it, Rick? Is it? It's a burr, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it walnut or something?
I think it is. Yeah, I don't know 100%, but I'm sure I remember him saying it is.
I tell you, he'll tell. If Jamie, I know Del Boy's in chat. So what do you reckon,
He'll know.
Del Boy? I reckon
He
it's
knows his
walnut
wood.
burr.
That boy.
He does. He used to make shotgun stocks, so he'll know what it is.
I
I
wonder
know,
if
very happy with that. Very happy.
Oh,
it's a 5p piece. Scott, you'll remember the Touchwood. Remember he had a 5p piece up inside it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was brilliant.
Well, as a battery contact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Did the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, that's it for me on the showcase this week. Just want to show a few of those lovelies.
Lovely old job. Lovely old job. So what we've got is we've got a few questions and bits and pieces that we want to get Scott involved with, and also and Mark can get involved in bits and bobs as well. But that before we get into those, that 5p thing kind of just made me think, what other kind of really random kind of bits of mods have you guys found, or atomizers or anything else? Has been anything else really kind of just fucking odd over the years?
Fuck off. I just remember the teabag mod. I'm sure Scott remembers that.
Yeah, it was Lipton tea bags. Used to use them up and use them as your filling material.
Fuck a 5p when you could use a Lipton tea bag. That definitely beats a 5p.
It might, if it goes into thermal runaway, it might absorb the shock a bit. There may have been a benefit to using a tea bag in mod.
No, it was to use. It was instead of the cartridge filler, use a Lipton tea bag.
Oh,
That and blue foam. I think Scott's been vaping the longest. I think Todd, how long have you been vaping for, Mark? Sorry, Mark. Todd, Mark.
4 years now.
Oh, we're about the same then. Yeah. So kind of just watching all this stuff evolve. I
remember using my E-light when I first started and pulling the cap off and refilling it because I was a stingy bugger.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch your video, Scott, to learn how to do that. I think.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get stuck into things then, shall we? Scott, obviously you've been around in the game for a long time. December 2008, I think we saw the other day. That was your first video. John, just let if there's been any kind of newer vapors that are watching us or anything like that may not have a solid understanding of who you are. Do you want to give us an idea about sort of what you're about, how long you've been vaping, and why you've got the channel?
Well, I started vaping in August 2008. My dad had been constantly going on at me about giving up smoking, and he mentioned about electronic cigarettes. And at the time when he first mentioned it, I just sort of completely dismissed it. But about sort of 6 months later, I was on the internet on Google, and I thought, let's just type electronic cigarettes and see what I find. And I stumbled across a YouTube video of a guy working in like one of the factories. He had a little cigar-like, and he took a drag and he blew out the vapor. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, this is what's going to get me off the cigarettes. And then from there, I started to look into it a bit more and bought my first little cigar-like, and then joined the ECF forum. And I think it's a month or two later, I bought my second electronic cigarette, which was a little Mirage. And I'd posted on the forum saying, has anyone heard about this? You know, what are your thoughts? And nobody had heard about it at the time. And a lady just said, oh, could you write up a little review? Once you've used it for a bit, let us know what you think of it. So I said, yeah, that's fine. And it got to the day where I was going to sit down and write out this review. And I thought, I really can't be arsed writing this out. And I thought, I remember that YouTube channel, because at the time YouTube wasn't particularly well known. I thought, I'll just set up my phone on the end of my bed and just record talking to the camera, and then just upload that, thinking that'd be a one-off. And that's where it started from, really. I uploaded that video and thinking it would just be a one-off, and I've never bothered doing anything like that again. And I started getting more and more people saying, oh, can you do a review on this model, and when you're going to go do another video? And it just sort of spiraled from there, really. It just happened.
Is that where the I Get You 69 came from then? I'm assuming that was your forum name on...
Yeah, I mean, I've had I Get You 69 ever since I got my first ever email account. When I very first got internet, too long ago now, but a long time ago now, and I had a mate who had a very sort of strong Cockney accent, and when you used to speak to him and he couldn't quite understand what he was going on about, when he eventually twigged, he used to go, oh, I get you. That's where I get you from, and then I just stuck 69 on the end of it, to be gone. for no reason.
That's 69, isn't it?
So 69's not your birth year or anything?
Not my age, no.
Okay.
No, I'm not that old either.
Hang on. There's nothing wrong with 69. That's a good year.
Hey, was that your 10-year anniversary? 10th birthday? Was it?
10th birthday, yeah. You say that, but Scott, but Mark always looks about 15. It's a fucking unbelievable. I think he sleeps in Tupperware. The wrinkly forehead I get shit for all the time.
I have to stay fat to keep the wrinkles out. It's a bloody nightmare.
Fat don't crack.
Just before we go on to the next question, just to let you know, I don't know if you know a very nice chap by the name of Flitzanu. He says that Scott helped me pick my first e-cig in 2009, literally February of 2009. Blame him for me being here, and that's great to know that you were influencing people back then, huh?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. It's great knowing that I've
Were there any video reviews back then, Scott, on vaping?
As far from my recollection, there was only 2 other reviewers. There was a guy called Leaford, and who then went off to work for one of the big electronic cigarette manufacturers at the time. And the other guy was called Rat in the Hat. I don't remember anybody else, any other reviewers at those times. I know when you went on ECF,
he's on next week. Don't forget, tune in for the Rat in the Hat show.
The Rat in the Hat.
I've never heard of that.
Rat in the Hat.
Well, you turned these reviews. I mean, straight away you came and did them, and you made them look professional. So.
Have you seen my first reviews?
I haven't. No, I don't think I haven't looked through them, but I've seen you. You have turned it into something. The production on it's very special and very.
Yeah, it's definitely like when I first started off, it was just like I just stuck my mobile phone onto like a broom handle, I think it was, and just sat on the edge of my bed and spoke. Like I said, when I first started, I never had any intention of being a reviewer. It's just meant to be a one-off. But then, obviously, it just sort of progressed from there with people asking me to do more reviews, and then. Over time, I was eventually sort of moved away from like my mobile phone to a video camera, and then after a while, sort of upgraded that camera and saved up and upgraded, and it just sort of went on from there. Then eventually, sort of got more and more equipment, and the rest just sort of took its course naturally, really.
Yeah, it looks great, the production on them. I like that. It stands out. It looks very professional.
And I think the thing that's kind of just going back to the quitting smoking thing, when we posted on Facebook groups that we've got you coming on, Scott, and I come in saying, you stopped me smoking 4 years ago with the Tornado tank review, which was the Ego T. Basically, it was a rebranded Ego T.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried a cigarette by Blue, and then I used the Ego T. But I think I bought mine from Apollo, somebody like that. And stopped smoking. And when I sat down,
little silver one, John, a little silver one.
It was a little silver one.
I've got one. I've still got one of those.
You've got like blue lights around the bottom of it.
I've got one of those still. I've got it somewhere.
And a lot of people commented because you can sort of sub-comment. You can comment on someone's comment, can't you?
Yeah.
And I had about 10 people say exactly the same thing. You'd stopped them smoking. So I think that's what a lot of people remember you for, is stopping them smoking. To be honest.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So 22 decades of smoking Benson Edge's Gold. that's what you stopped. My wife finally got to watch a film without pausing it. I think that was one of the main ones. I was going back in a minute and just going for a fag. And she knew if I fucking hated the film, because she'd go, do you want me to pause it? I'd go, leave it. No, it's all right. I know what's going on. That means it's and I don't care.
So bearing in mind how long ago you were you kicked things off, you must have done a couple of howlers in your time, even though you are possibly the most professional when it comes to the reviews. Is there any that stand out in your mind for being just, you look at it now and have a little cringe and think that wasn't great?
Well, I feel extremely embarrassed whenever I watch any of me early. There's a section or an era of my reviews where I brought my first sort of high definition camera, which was like 720p, and even though it was technically HD camera, like the actual quality of the camera was just terrible. And but the worst thing about the camera was the fact that the microphone was almost non-existent. So and the only way I could get it to pick up my voice was by having the lens literally about a foot away from my face. So like the videos just like real close up with me from my face, unfortunately. And I remember to really shout at the top of my voice. And that era, those videos, whenever somebody sort of posts a link to one of those videos, I really do cringe because they were truly awful. But the other ones, that was all right. I don't mind the early ones.
Didn't you invent the box mod? I think you did, didn't you?
I think I actually did invent the box mod. Yeah. I started the ball rolling. Well, maybe not, but it is. I don't remember anything else like the crack box. So.
That was quality, and if you haven't seen it, go back and look at Scott's channel and check out the crack box because it's awesome.
That's definitely the video I see reposted the most, is the crap box. Someone did ask if there's going to be a crap box V2 because they're interested, and they will invest.
I've had a few ideas at times for updated crap box videos.
I think the crap box V2 would be.
Maybe we'll do one day.
Yeah, it would go brilliant.
And so I'm going to ask this is the last lot of questions I'm going to ask, and then going to let the other guys get stuck in. But obviously, you've got vaping back in the day. What were the real breakthrough moments from when you started through to now? Do you think, if you had to pick a couple?
The invention of cartomizers. That was a pretty major breakthrough compared to having to use, because like before that you had the little separate atomizer which had a little sort of, like a silver bridge, and you'd have a little tiny cartridge which had an inner cartridge which was filled up with like a filling material, and literally they held about sort of 4 or 5 drops of e-liquid, and that used to rest against the bridge of the atomizer and draw liquid that way. So when you got the cartomizers come out, you could actually sort of get a reasonable amount of e-liquid in there, and it's the atomizer and the cartridge all built into one unit. That was pretty, like today, everyone sort of turns their nose up at cartomizers, but back then it was actually fantastic. And then on the same lines was cartomizer tanks, where somebody one day had the idea, I think it was on like ECF forum, they'd got like some sort of tank that they'd made themselves.
I think it was a film canister, if I remember. Yeah,
it probably was actually. Yeah, it probably was something like that.
I remember them coming out.
Yeah, somebody had the bright idea to sort of cut a little hole or a slot into a cartomizer and put that inside a tank to fill it out with liquid, and that's how cartomizer tanks came. And that was a really big breakthrough in vaping, because you could actually vape for quite a long time without having to sort of fill up and that, and the performance was pretty good. Then obviously from there you had the like variable voltage come into the equation. You had I think the first one was called the Buzz, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
I've got one of them somewhere, but that had like an actual physical dial which you sort of turn to increase the voltage up and down. And obviously from there you had the Pro Vari. That was quite a big old game changer back in the day. And then obviously the Darwin and the Evolve DNA boards coming.
I remember getting my Vamo back in a few years ago now, and it was amazing going up to 15 watts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
At the time, you think 15 watts, I'm never going to use 15.
I didn't know I was vaping about 8 watts, I think.
Yeah.
I think my first was a lava tube V2 in stainless steel. I didn't want the chrome. I wanted the stainless steel.
Weren't they the ones that had the proper old voltmeter on them?
Yeah, it looked like a silver dildo with a display about 2/3 of the way up. It was, definitely special. I think I've still got it somewhere. Oh yeah, look, there we go. There you go.
Look at that.
Wow.
Is
that a stack? See, that's the trouble with those. That's like the Vamo, isn't it?
You could use a stack 350 in it, or 118 650.
Yeah, I remember stacking 350s in mine, and it was a bit. It went for it. But it's just the size, wasn't it? It's like, compared to a mech, it was ridiculous. The Vamos and that.
Well, you say that, but then I didn't have a mech before I had. I went from an Ego to that. I think Scott reviewed the Lava Tube V1, which was black, and it didn't have the bevel on the top. The bevel was so that you could fit Ego tanks on.
Yeah,
I mean
that's what the Vamo had on it as well. You could do both.
Look at that! You see, you could fit it right there, and quite brilliant. And, yeah, I did. And you could put. And I remember I used to walk around with I think it was a Smock tank on the top of a Cartho tank. It looks a total bastard. But everyone was going, "Oh, it looks really good." No, it doesn't.
I had a big RSST on top of my Vamo, and it was about 2 foot long.
At the pub, I remember saying to a barber once, "Can I use this?" I think he just went, "Yeah." Just thinking, I don't know what the fuck that is. You cast a spell? Yeah, probably.
So, what else have we got there? What else?
I think we were going to go. We were going to talk about trolls because I used one of your troll comebacks that I always remembered, which was fuck off your mug. Whenever I scroll through the comments on your video and anybody made a derisory comment, the end of your comment back was always, "Oh yeah," it was always "fuck off your mug" at the end. You had trolls before we even knew trolls existed.
That's a way of saying hello in Romford, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's common manners, that is.
There was never a reply after "fuck off your mug." I never anybody go, "Oh well, fair enough."
I think a lot of time it's like the Americans think, "Well, what is a mug?"
Yeah, probably.
Just confusing.
But yeah, did you? Were the trolls something that came after a while, or did you get them from the get-go?
Well, to be honest, like when I first started doing my reviews, it's not so much to do with trolls. It's probably an interesting story, but like I used to get a lot of fetish smokers contacting me. Like if you looked at my first 20 subscribers, if you looked at your subscriber list, every one of them would be like a middle-aged man wearing a leather vest and nothing else, a leather waistcoat, should I say? And I used to get a lot of like bizarre requests. There's one guy.
You realise that Mark's wearing a leather waistcoat.
The memorable one was a guy contacted me and asked me to make a video of vaping whilst wearing football socks and chewing bubble gum. He wanted me to throw a bubble at the end and let it explode over my face.
I like as if you're going to write, "Yeah, okay, yeah."
That's a regular thing that went down in Hollywood's at Romford at the weekends, wasn't it? That club, Hollywood's up there.
Like, that's proper back in the day, that is Hollywood.
Yeah, I used to go up there then.
Rick was one of the people in the waistcoats.
I did actually have a few waistcoats back in the ravey days, actually.
I remember standing there by the bar and someone going, "Good week, Rick," and he went, "Yeah, not bad." Trying to get a bloke on YouTube to blow a bubble. He went, "Fucking do it." Wearing football socks.
But with regards to the actual sort of proper trolls, I can't remember when they very first started, but back then I didn't have a decent set of teeth. And, if you put yourself on YouTube with a bad set of teeth, you're just asking for trouble. So a lot of the time it is
you say that, but I think the actual point is it's anything. It doesn't make any difference what the fuck it is. I know, like Damien, sorry Damien, but I know people who make because Damien's got a beautiful nose, and people make comments about that. I think it's literally anything. And it's we were speaking.
I like muffins.
We were talking to Ruby Roo, and Ruby gets all sorts of shit. Would you do it without your shoes on? Just do it barefoot. Just vape with your feet. Anything. People
they'll pick on anything. But there's probably Americans trolling you, and they've all got pearly whites, haven't they?
Yeah, they're all
bleach. They bleach their teeth over there, don't they?
And stick veneers on, yeah. So it's fine. I think they'll just go for anything.
Yeah. I think my most annoying comments, which I still get at least sort of 3 or 4 times a week, is comments where people write down, "Do you know your name's Bonner?" They think it's Boner.
Oh,
of course, my name is. I've got 2 N's in my name, so it's pronounced Bonner. Not Boner, but I'll get that at least 2 or 3 times a week, and that's the one that really annoys me. Your name's Boner. LOL.
As long as you're happy watching my videos, it's all right.
I like that. I like the fact that someone bothered to write that. You do know your name is Boner, don't you? No.
Yeah. I realise you can't spell Boner.
On that one, I've got a couple of people stateside. I think they're convinced that they are real human skulls.
Oh yeah, that is quite.
I've had that a few times.
From
Asking
your
questions.
Dorman days, aren't they? When you ejected a few drunk.
Absolutely, yeah. Didn't like you, but you had a nice head, so I kept it. Yeah, so that's been interesting. I had a few of those, and I've had one that wants me to fart on camera.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen soon enough.
Super random. What you got, John?
I was just going through just going through the notes really. I think I'm going for Can I ask, do you really get involved in the high-end game anymore? Like the
I'd like to, but I wouldn't even know where to go and buy them. This is what I was saying earlier. You guys are saying I got this mod and that mod. And like 2 years ago, I'd know everything about anything that was coming out. Whereas now, I don't know bugger all.
We'll sell you information every time you'll agree to come on the show. We'll tell you where you get a mod.
But I think a lot of it has moved. Well, I may be wrong, but I think a lot of it has all moved over to Facebook now. Like, because a few years ago, it was all done on the forums. So you'd see all the mod makers on the forums and like Vape and UKV as well. And so you always felt like, up to date with what was coming out. You could put your name down on the waiting list and buy something. But no, I don't see any of those waiting lists now anywhere.
I think a lot of it
died. Forums have died now. It all switched over to Facebook, like you said.
I think people don't like, because I'm one who didn't like it when I joined certain forums. Was the anonymity? Some people use the anonymity to be dickhead, basically.
Yeah.
And that makes things basically impossible. I remember when I joined UK Vapors years ago. I found it really, really difficult because everybody knows everybody and they'll sell it to their mate, Bum Scratcher 911. And I think, well, I thought I was first. No, you weren't. No, Bum Scratcher 911. He was. And I think
it was slightly more clicky UKV, but it was all right. I quite liked it on UKV.
It wasn't. It's not a comment against UKV, but I think it's a on Facebook. It feels different that everybody can. You kind of, I'm not saying who everybody is, but it feels more personal, I think.
It is like that though now, isn't it? You do have to have your real name on there. You are a person and you are a bit more accountable possibly on Facebook. So, but it has all gone onto Facebook, in my opinion.
I think it has, yeah. But So is there any mods that you've kind of seen or any?
I've seen loads of mods, but like I wouldn't know what their names are, to be quite honest. When like on Instagram, I've got the people I follow on Instagram. There's always it's like Caddy Vapors, I think it is. I follow them, and they're forever posting pictures of these really gorgeous looking mods. Not very much like what you guys have been showing here. But there's never information about, go to this website and buy here. It's almost like a secret society.
If you ever do want to know, just send one of us a picture of what you're talking about, and we'll tell you where to get it.
We'll probably know already.
I'll just speak to Damien, and he'll point you in Geppetto's direction, I think.
Yeah. I've got an early Geppetto.
Have you?
Oh yeah. Well, it must be one of his very first ones that come out, yeah.
Is it one of the skull ones?
Geppetto, anyway. I'm pretty certain. I think I bought it second hand off UKV, actually.
Yeah.
That's probably worth the same as a house now.
Probably is.
Make a mod like a chicken drumstick and it goes for a fortune.
So you're not into the high end stuff. So I mean, what is your? I know you've got the cuboid and the Cleto tonight, but what is your kind of favourite stuff, or what are you into? What kind of style of vaping have you got?
Well, I'll be honest. I'm a really big fan of the Aspire Cleto. For me, vaping should be cheaper, easier, and performing better. And I think the Chinese are knocking it out of the park recently with things like the Cleto. 20 quid, and it's a blinding vape. Do you know what I mean? You get plenty of flavour and vaping out of it. But I do like the high end stuff. But like I said, it's just impossible to get hold of. So I'm sort of been you know, I don't really get that option of enjoying high-end stuff because I wouldn't even know where to get it. So I make do with the second best thing, and that's like, you know, the what's it called, like the cuboid. I think my favourite mod though really is this one. If I can grab hold of it, and this is what I would class as the high, and it's probably like the highest end thing that I've got, and that is the box by Limelight Mechanics.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous little mod, and
fucking hell,
40 watts, and there's not much I vape at 40 watts these days.
You've got hands like spade, Scott. I know how big that fucking mod is.
That's a Hammond 1590B.
That mod is actually 9 inches in length.
Fucking hell. That's ridiculous. I get mods sometimes. Somebody says, "Hey, you should try this," and I think I can't get my fucking hand around it.
Hey, I've got a nice Cloud Maker white out that'd look alright in your hands.
Passing that way for that one, Scott.
Yeah, good point.
No, it has changed a lot, hasn't it, Scott? I mean, what was it, about a year ago, you couldn't really get a mod for under £100 that was variable voltage, a decent one that was variable voltage. I remember, I looked it up actually. You got an SX350J board.
Yeah.
And that was certainly impacting a little bit on modding, but yeah, for spending 50 to 70 quid, you can get a really good setup now, can't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, fantastic setup for that price.
Yeah, it's really helping everybody out, isn't it? There's some good stuff coming out for good money.
Definitely.
I mean, it doesn't like for example, like the cuboid and the clear. I don't feel like I'm holding an expensive, swanky setup, but you know, it would work just as good as any of the setups that you guys are vaping. You know,
yeah, definitely.
Anyway, you know.
My day in day out Atty is the Cryos at 20 quid, you know, or 25 quid.
That's another good one.
And you know, you can spend 100, 200 quid on an Atty, and it won't give you better flavour. It might feel a little nicer, but yeah, you can get good flavour and performance for nothing, next to nothing now.
Yeah.
Cool, really.
As long as it gives you the wattage you need, wattage is wattage, isn't it? More or less, you know, as long as it's doing what it wants. So if you want a basic wattage power vape, then you can get that for shirt buttons now, and decent tanks and decent drippers to go along with it.
I think most people will absolutely say that is that power's power, and but you're buying what something looks like, and I think, you know, if you're reasonable, that's true.
The other good thing is that, you know, they are, like the Chinese manufacturers are coming up with like original designs now as well. Yeah. So not just sort of thinking, oh, that's a high-end mod, right, let's do a direct copy and that, you know, because you can notice now, you know, again, like around a year or so ago, like all the forums and Facebook, it's all like Clone Wars, wasn't it? Whereas now, I can't even remember last time I've seen a big debate about Clone Wars, because I think China thought, well, let's just do our own ones, and they're coming up with really good stuff, you know. So it's brilliant, really.
I think you've hit the sort of nail on the head, really. That the clone thing stopped. Well, it was really funny. A couple of years ago, somebody said, a year ago, quite an infamous reviewer said to me that it'll all end because the clones will become 99% of the market, and I said, what are they going to what are they going to clone then, you fucking idiot? That doesn't make any sense. And it turned out they weren't original, and some of those things were pushed not because of what people think. Evolve refused to send boards to one company because they were selling clones, and they said, well, if you stop selling clones, you could buy our boards, and they were forced into a situation where they had to invent, and those are the things that change the market, really. So, which I think is great.
It's great for the consumer, definitely. I mean,
I think what's happened was always the evolution of vaping, is that people would start having ideas for themselves. Some of them are total shit, but some of them are total shit from the high-end game as well.
Yeah.
They're fucking spitty, shitty, not wicking crap.
Alters?
Everyone does it. Yeah, the Altus. Scott, I remember when I saw your blog the other week and I saw you bought an Altus, I thought, enjoy.
Well, do you know, I'm not going to say too much here, but I'm not going to mention the company or the name of the product, but I've had a company say to me, like last week, they've got a new product out, new to the market. It's very revolutionary and all this sort of stuff. And they sent it out today, and I received it this morning, and it's an Altus tank. But it's not called an Altus tank, and it's a different colour as well. But as far as I can see, it's exactly the same thing as the Altus tank.
So it's got the same sort
strange enough, though, it says it's designed in London, whereas the Altus tank is designed in
But it's got, but the actual head's the same shape, so you've still got like a blade shaped.
You know, I've not taken it apart or anything yet, but I looked at the instructions come with it, and from the images on the instructions and from the general appearance of it, it looks to be exactly like the Altus tank. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it is the Altus tank. So I'm not too sure what's going on there, but I'm surprised that they're saying it's like completely new, because I think they may have been duped, but I don't want to say too much now because it get people into trouble or anything. But
I think we've all seen rebrand debacles before where somebody's not realised that something's a rebrand.
Yeah.
I saw something really weird.
The Altus V2's coming out soon, anyway.
What?
Yeah, there's an Altus V2 coming out soon.
Brilliant.
Do you know anything about that?
I can't tell you anymore, Dean.
Oh, wait, man.
Watch Todd's reviews, and he'll have one very soon.
I bet he fucking doesn't.
Unlike Scott, I have no morals, and I will name drop. Sorry.
So you still buy a whole bunch of your own gear as well, Scott? I mean, it's even though you've been around for a million years doing doing kind of what the rest of us would like to be able to do at some point when it comes to how you go about your reviews. It's you've not bought into the vape fame. You've not bought into the whole this is who I am sort of thing and get just a fuck ton of free shit.
No, I don't even think people really do that, though, do they?
Oh,
Yes!
But no, I mean, what? Presumably, if you like something or you like look at something, you just go out and buy it, and that's that. But do you get hounded by manufacturers and all that sort of shit?
Well, I get hounded with juice review requests, definitely. And I get many of those everywhere, and I've not even done any juice reviews for almost 2 years now. And when you say like, no, I'm sorry, man, I hate doing juice reviews. They're just a bit pointless.
Yeah.
They're just annoying, really. And when you say like, no, I've stopped doing them, you just constantly having to. I don't like just saying no. I try and be polite about it, but some people they don't like taking no for an answer, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I definitely get a lot of juice requests, even though I don't know doing any juice reviews. But I get a couple of years ago, on a daily basis, I'd be getting asked for reviews for the latest atomizer, the latest McMod, the latest whatever, But like I say, I don't really get that as much these days, to be honest.
I'd just like to point that there is a really good juice reviewer. I think Big J, I think it's called. He's very good.
He's good. He's one of my clients, but I don't think Scott's seen him yet. But I'll annoy him and send him a PM later with the channel. He's got some more reviews out this week, I think, from what I've heard anyway.
So when you got your reviews, then how do you organise it? Is it just a case of you buy something, you like it, you review it, or you buy something and you think, right?
I've got plenty of reviews in, which are like from companies which have sent me out stuff, and ideally, I would much rather just review the stuff that I buy, because a lot of people, because obviously all my reviews start off with I received this free of charge, blah blah blah, and I'd much rather review the things that I purchased myself. But if a company wants to send me something to review, so I can save me having to buy it, then that's great, But I always feel that if a company has sent me out something to review, then those reviews should come before my own personal reviews.
Yeah.
So, and then by the time, for example, I bought the keyboard, and there's a lot of people asked me about, are we going to do a review? And I think I mentioned that I bought one in my vlog, but because I've got a backlog of videos waiting to be recorded, I know that by the time I actually did get round to recording this, obviously a night, and I thought myself, it'll be out. Would be old news, and nobody would be interested in it anyway. That's the sort of problem. I'd much rather record the stuff that I buy, but like I said, I've still got, I've still got a big backlog. No, I feel like so my facial voice has gone now. Well, I've got a big backlog. I feel like it's only sort of respectful to get those reviews out before I do my own sort of like personal reviews, if you see what I mean.
I mean, there's a lot of up and coming reviewers, isn't there, that or up and coming or want to be reviewers who think that it's such a privilege and brilliant and to get loads of free stuff sent to them. But it really there's a saturation point where you've got enough stuff to vape on that it's actually a chore getting any more. But they seem to think, you know, I'll be a reviewer, I'll get lots of free stuff, and it's so brilliant. But it really, do you think it's brilliant getting lots of free stuff?
I mean, like for somebody who doesn't get lots of free stuff, it does sound brilliant. But when you are in that position where you are getting lots of offers every day, it can be quite stressful because you don't want to. Like, you do want to obviously review the latest things that are coming out, but you know it's just not feasible to say, yeah, I'll review that, if you know it's not going to be 4 months until you actually get around to recording that review, you know.
Yeah.
I think one of the points that came up recently, I think Mark, you posted on your Facebook page, which was so you get a lot of people asking you questions about how do you get free stuff for review, and a lot of us. I know Craig commented and I commented, which is that's not how this works, and you said the same, which is review the stuff you've bought, put it on YouTube, and if people appreciate what you've done, they'll contact you. Don't go sending begging emails to people. And I know, actually, saying that, I know people have pretended to be you, and somebody's done it recently, haven't they, Scott? And people have pretended to be you in the past as well.
Yeah.
I think they spelt your name wrong last time, Scott, to be honest.
Scott Boner.
Little friend Scoot Boner.
On that getting sent a bunch of stuff, Mark, what about you? Because I mean, you've said that you're not going to do certain things, and you've kind of stepped away from certain products with tanks and stuff, haven't you? Or have you gone back into those?
I like to do stuff that interests me now.
Yeah.
But which keeps me interested in doing what I'm doing. But I mean, going back to the, new reviewers things. I mean myself. I mean, I must have been about a year and a half before I started getting my own stuff free to review. Oh my God!
Oh, look at the state of him. Look, he's in.
He's been out robbing.
Yeah.
Daddy was a bank robber.
Shut up. Go on, carry on, Mark.
He's a way to make something to eat already. He's just joined. Yeah, so I mean, the first year and I spent an absolute fortune on gear before. So when you invest the money in buying the gear and then the time and then it's just it mounts up. I wouldn't advise anybody to get into reviewing. I really wouldn't.
Expensive.
I think Damien's probably got a good balance, hasn't he? He reviews what he likes, really, rather than getting sent every single thing from all of the retailers like Inikin and Tobacco and all of those, and having to review them whether you like them or not. It could probably get a bit. You get a bit fed up with it, I'd imagine.
Yeah. And I know a lot of that. I mean, I suppose it's kind of different because I mean, when I started, I was off work, so you could churn out reviews. But then when you're working, you've got a real life, and then you're dealing with all the. I don't know how these guys do it. I really don't.
I don't know how you do it. There's lots of things because you kind of weighing up. I know. I mean, I only do this and a few other bits. Obviously, look after my client and admin a Facebook page and stuff, and I know I've got work and and I have to pay attention to my wife every so often so she doesn't fucking kill me, and there is a lot of forgetting that these things that life is happening in between.
Yeah.
Some guy messaged me the other day at 11:30 at night and asked me something, and I answered, and he said, "Sorry if I've disturbed you," and I said, "No, that's not how it works. If you'd have sent me a message and I didn't want to be disturbed, I wouldn't have fucking received it because my messages are off because I don't give enough of a shit to leave them on. Sorry, mate." And that was my answer, because I do. I turn them off, because people will send you messages at 3 a.m. saying, "What do you think of Red Astaire?" And it's like,
Saying they want to buy Kanga sub tanks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've rolled over once because I forgot to turn off my phone and just typed "fuck off" and sent it. That was because I just thought you're insane.
Such a cheery chap.
I don't care. I've always been like that. I just speak the truth.
Send him juice and he'll pass it on to Big J and he'll sling it across the kitchen. Though anyone that makes juice.
They always anybody who does approach Big J for a review does get told that might well happen.
Yeah.
They will accept it.
So just quickly, I just want to be sure, right, that two things have happened. One is that you've taken the mickey out of Mark mercilessly.
A little bit. He's wearing a waistcoat, so he left an
Couldn't do
open
that.
hole, really.
I know he's done his hair. He's done his hair.
I'm going to present the waistcoat. Hold you on. There we go. Everyone in the world can see the waistcoat. You lot can't, but
It's got a waistcoat on for you, Craig.
No, it's for John. We all know how it works. And has everybody been nice to you, Scott? Because they better have.
Yeah, they've been lovely.
Oh, well, I'll just change that right now. Then I've got a question for you.
Go for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. It's how. I mean, without gushing and boring you to tears. I've been watching your videos for so long, and watching your videos, it's always. I mean, you have a set format, and I know it word for word, and I could do a Scot impersonation so well if I had to. But now that you've started doing the vlogs, like your people are, what's the response like? Because you're showing more of you now as a person rather than just this guy that does reviews. Now, so how's that changed things for you?
I don't know whether it's sort of really changed anything as such, but you know, I do enjoy doing the vlogs, but I'm not an overly sort of confident person, to be quite honest. You know, Dean spent about 3 months speaking me of coming on here before I finally caved in. You know, so I don't really do these sort of things. I'm not that sort of person. I think you have to have that sort of personality, really. But you know, the vlogs, I like doing that because it does show people that, you know, I always remember one guy called me a review robot, and I can understand like why I was called that, you know. And so it's nice to do the vlogs and you know, and show people that, you know, there is something a little bit more different than just me repeating myself over and over again in the reviews. You know what I mean?
I love them. Absolutely love them.
I don't get that. I personally, I think that's total shit. I really do. I think people like a format that stays the same. You know, that has. I'm trying to think of the right word. A sort of a sense of there's a kind of a Scott Bonner style of doing things, and I think we all. Everybody who's watched you from the beginning knows what it's going to be and appreciates that. And I think your build videos are probably second to none. Sorry, Mark.
Totally.
But I really do. And I learned building gennies from you. I still use Genesis atomizers now. I wouldn't be able to do it without your build video. Just wouldn't be able to do it.
I mean, I used to get. I mean, when you're talking about a reviewing robot type thing, I mean. This sounds like fanboy shit here, and I'm really sorry. But, you know, when you started doing things like the cloud shot, and when you fuck your words up and things like that, and when you do things like the strata, like when you go, you depart from what people had got used to. I thought that was awesome. I really did. And I won't talk about the strata much, but that was just so cool.
That's my favourite review and the one I go back to. The Strata review is just
brilliant.
I absolutely love it. There's nothing better than seeing a reviewer with an atomizer and there's something wrong with it and they want to tell the world what that is, and it's impossible to do it in that format of video. So you go, fuck this thing, I'm going to fucking tell everybody why it's shit, and there's only one way to do it, and it's this. And you really showed everybody exactly that it was shit and why it was shit, and it was great. It was gorgeous as well. That was the thing, because the mods are fantastic. Everybody knows they did some amazing mods, And then they brought out this atomizer, and everyone on the forums was saying, "Oh no, what you've done is you've put it 0.0001 millimeter in the wrong direction. You just need to move," and you're just going, "Fuck off!" And I just thought, "Yeah, nailed it." Yeah, bollocks to you. I remember the old days when people would say things like, "Oh, this atomizer is brilliant. What you need is a drill, 2mm drill bit." What the fuck? No, fuck off. You need a drill. That's not how you do something. It's a brilliant washing machine. All you need is this circuit board, the soldering iron. What? Fuck off.
No, I think there's a reason that most reviews these days start off with a little bit of chat, then it's an up close, and then it's a little bit more chat and a little bit of a vape, and it's a format that works, and it's the vape review format.
Yeah,
and that came from Mr. B, I think.
Well, I mean, we went and stole the Plumes format for the show, so I mean, it's kind of, you know.
And then we made it better.
I always remember sitting in the kitchen with the laptop years ago, and just I had it was after the bully smoker. It was the UFS, the GG UFS and the IATI. I got them both at the same time, and I just had Scot on constant loop, his reviews sitting there going, "How the fuck does this work?" And seriously, if it wasn't for those reviews, I would have binned them.
Is that thing, Mark? Is that an IATI?
No.
That's not IATI. I can't remember what it is. Little Genesis ATI.
That's an IATI. That thing there.
It used to.
Right, okay.
They put a couple of updates, but it used to take resistance, no resistance wire.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Or, as some people call it, a fucking nightmare. But yeah, and it was a silica ATI as well.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I do. I've really watched you since for 4 years. Been sat watching Scot. And I remember I said this to him the other night. I bought a Phoenix atomizer that took 1mm silica looped over with 5 wraps of nichrome wire. And
I remember that.
And I remembered, and I've still got it somewhere. I sent Scot a direct message on Twitter saying, "Hi Scot, is this atomizer any good? Are you going to review it?" And he said, "Yes, it's all right. I'm going to review it." I don't think you actually ever did a review for it, but you did say it was good. So I was like, "Oh, thanks, brilliant. I'm going to use it."
You sound like Kevin and Perry from Go Large.
That was all it was. There wasn't many people who could ask these questions, and I thought, I don't really know, because I did feel over. Obviously, I have no problem with being a dick in public, but on forums, I always felt like I was on the back seat, and if I wrote the wrong words and I didn't know I'd done it, people would just write torrents of shit, and I'd think, well, I don't know what I did. I just asked if this worked. Oh, fuck.
It never used to be like that, did it? I mean, it used to be just not a much smaller community of people who are a lot more helpful.
Yeah, but the thing was, but then I didn't really know anything about vaping really, and I literally sat here. I sat on my own, working out my own shit for 2 years and watching videos. I
didn't know anybody who vaped for 2 years in real life.
I didn't either, but I used to watch Scot. And then Todd came along, and I used to watch Nick, Good Green, and that was how I knew anything at all about vaping.
What about? I mean, we know what Mark watches, because he obviously watches my videos constantly.
And Big J.
And Big J, they're like top of the watch list.
Yeah.
But no, Mark says what other sort of reviews that he watches, and I know you've mentioned it a couple of times, Scot. But is there anyone? Have you got a YouTube list of reviewers or anything vapey that you kind of subscribe to and think, oh, cool, yeah, so so and so.
I mean, I haven't got any. I wouldn't say I've got a favourite reviewer as such, but there's people that apart from the vaping biker. I've not got any sort of set favourite reviewer, but like if I'm interested, I'll go and type it in YouTube and I'll watch you.
Thanks for coming, Mark.
I've watched brilliant reviews by people who've only got like 2 subscribers, and I've watched people like Todd and Grim Green who've got thousands and thousands of subscribers. So I've not got any sort of set preference as long as it's on something I'm interested in. I can watch anybody really.
Yeah. There's nothing in particular that you think that is kind of that shows something a little bit different, or because we were saying earlier on about the kind of not knowing where to get certain mods and things and what mods are necessarily out there. If there's anyone that you think, and well, I've got to watch Mr. Todd because he's going to have something woody, or I want to watch Grim because he's going to have something cloudy or whatever else.
No, I mean, obviously I've got my sort of YouTube feed and that, and I get Todd Cutter in there every day, and I get Grim, and I get Pete Bizzardo, Damien. He's always in my feed, and that, so if I sort of see something that I think that looks a bit different, then I'll go and check it out. But I don't actually sort of follow any one person specifically, if you see what I mean. To be quite honest, most of my subscriptions in YouTube are to do with like video production or like After Effects channels, photography and things like that, really. But obviously, where I've gone through and watched videos and liked and that's how all these guys end up in my feed anyway.
Is there anything? I mean, do you still after this long? Do you still kind of put something together for the first time, take a vape, and then just get really giddy with excitement still?
Very rarely, to be quite honest. Like you've seen it all before, really, but it's just in a different format, and. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time I vaped on something which I was really excited about, and that probably was the box by Limelight Mechanics, and that's not because of the performance, just because it was such a nice little, well-made and gorgeous looking little mod, really. But I suppose like even the Clito, and I keep on banging on about it, but when you think for something for like 20 quid, and you get that sort of performance out of it, and really. Fantastic airflow, that's the sort of things that do give me mild excitement these days, really.
That's what's changed in about a year, isn't it? This airflow, really, with ATs. They're always butthole airflow.
But it's the airflow, but not through. What I think what's really changed, especially in the last 6 months, is there was always this thing where they'd give you a fucking massive big slot in the side, but the airflow through the coil was still pissy. Really different. So people were trying to beat physics. You'd have this bloody great airflow and no hole through the middle of the coil, so it made no difference.
Well, that's all changed now, though, isn't it? I mean, the airflow in these ATs now is spot on, directed straight at the coils when it's done right. I mean, I'm not a fan of the, those air holes at the top.
I thought of a question. I thought.
Oh, go on. I'll drop what I'm saying, and you can carry on with that one.
Carry on what you're saying. I was thinking out loud. We've got airflow.
I'm just saying we've got airflow now, and we've got capability of running high watts, basically.
Wow. God.
Dean's back to muted people. That was a fair mute.
I've been muted. No, I'm still on.
Go on, Rick.
I was muted.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's what's happened in a year is airflow, really. In the last year, you've got airflow instead of butthole airflow and 20-watt vaping,
I think China's just got better at making shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
they have. Oh, definitely.
It was only a matter of time before they threw enough shit at the wall and it stuck, and they managed to get something good out. And you look at the Serpent, and you look at all those tanks, and they've really, really got the game together.
I mean, yeah, you can go and spend 200 quid on an ATI, or you can spend 20 quid on a Clito or a Cryos, and you've got as nice a vape as you can get. And when you get to that standard of quality of cloud and taste, it can't really be beaten, can it? You've got to your peak. There's only variations of the same if you're lucky.
And the sort of slight negative though is that the manufacturers have seemed to have completely forgotten about the people who like to do like regular mouth to lung inhales. The amount of questions or emails I get or YouTube comments from people saying, look, can you recommend like a cheap, affordable mouth to lung atomizer? And I really struggle. I say, well, like for me, like one of the best ones is like the Kayfen Light. But even then, it's not in the same sort of price bracket as, for example, something like the Clito and that, you know. So they are neglecting that side of the market. So and there's a big market there waiting to be filled as well.
I can't think of one for sub £60. I can't think of a mouth to lung for under 60 quid.
I mean, the only one that got close was the Serpent. As far as
but it doesn't. But again, even though I think the Serpent's great, it isn't at mouth to lung because it. Sorry, I know I keep saying it's a great tank, and I really do think it is. But if you close it down, it floods.
Yeah.
Because it's physics. It will.
Yeah.
It wicks so well that if you close it down and take a mouth to lung, it'll flood. Yeah. And that's that.
The K Fund's just bought another. You know, SPO have bought out a new one, haven't they?
Yeah, but it's as I said, sub 60 quid. No, there isn't one because the V3 Mini is absolutely great from mouth to lung, but it's what 65. So it doesn't work.
Isn't the cuboid that's supposed to, or the Cubist that's supposed to go on the cuboid?
Yeah, I've got one. I wasn't sort of impressed by it.
I have heard it's shit. I was going to buy one this week, and I bought I don't even know how you say it. I bought a Telemachus. What the fuck is that?
Telemachus.
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah, that works fine.
Yeah, but that does. Again, it's not sub 60 quid. So. Yeah. What was I know the question I was going to ask you, Scott. I know Todd's coming to Birmingham for the Vape Expo in Birmingham, and I wondered if you were thinking of coming to any of the expos or festivals of vaping this year.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that sort of question. Well,
sorry, you can say fuck off then. That was
I've got to be honest with you. I'd love to go to these sort of events. You know, I'd love to be able to go to the Vape Fest and the expos and that sort of stuff. But I've got a lot of anxiety problems, and the thought of being in big crowds, it doesn't fill me with joy, to be quite honest. And the last time I went to one was Vape Fest 2013.
I was there. I was there, but I didn't. But then you see, you were too big time that I didn't say hello. But you were there. I remember you called the raffle, and it was in a marquee behind a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what people. When I see Vape Fest now, I remember a marquee behind a pub, and a load of blokes walking around with screwdriver mobs on a lanyard.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I was there, but I didn't come and say hi because you were too big time. Sorry, Scott.
You should do it. No, I mean, you should. Vape Fest has probably changed completely now because you can kind of break away from it all and just.
It's really relaxed. And
yeah, to be quite, I probably would be fine, but it's like all the build up to it, you know. And say for example, if you say, "Oh, what Vape Fest is happening, it's outside the door now," I'll be able to walk out the door and I'll be perfectly fine. Yeah. But it's the build up to it. It just by the time it comes, I'll just think, oh no, there's no way I can do this. And because every year, so obviously I've got quite a few good close friends, like vaping buddies and whatever, and I've not seen them since 2013. And I'd love to meet up with them and have a chat with them again.
You got to get your ass to vape jam, Scott.
Oh, I'm saying my one. My big one is Vape Fest in Shrewsbury is now turned into something just brilliant. Yeah. Just saying hi to your mates.
It's like a festival now, isn't it? It's like Woodstock.
Yeah. I mean, all we did is we just sat around in just a random place and just didn't move and just drank beer, got sun, and didn't buy anything. Then went to the pub at night and then kind of did it again the next night. And that was. Yeah. And that was the good bit about it, really. You could completely separate yourself away from it if you wanted to and just go and do your own thing and then come back for an hour.
What makes it harder, though, is it'd be different. If I could just sort of go and blend in the crowd, find a little corner and sit down, I'd be fine. But I'm 6'4", so I'll sit down like for fun. And obviously, there are quite a few people that recognise me from YouTube and that. And I don't want people to come up to me and make them feel awkward, because I love talking to people and I love meeting new people, but unfortunately there's that a little bit of anxiety or that little devil in your head who's not putting you at ease, if you see what I mean. And like I said, I want to be able to go and enjoy the day and meet people and say hello to people who watch my videos and And I don't want them to sort of feel as, oh, what's the matter with this geezer? Well, I'm having a big panic attack or something.
I got a deal for if you can come and hide with me at Vape Fest, because I think my mate James is 6'7". I think Simon's 6'5".
Yeah.
Jamie's 6'4", so no one will see you, so they can all sort of bundle around you. And then
I'm going to take a tent up there just so I can fucking hide away for a few hours and have a kip.
Got to deal with a vape phone somehow. So one of the things that that we've been asked a lot for on the chat and on the Facebook page is, would you either do us a one of your O spam shots where you just blowing out some O's, or one of your viewer requested cloud shots?
I'll do a video. Let me set up the angle first.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, let's hang on. We got to put him on there. Hang on a second.
I'm presenting.
I've got some swine. I'm not going to be able to do it. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Look at that. Just
Take me off there.
perfect.
pure sex. Just pure sex.
That's fantastic. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about.
That's what Chris.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That's fantastic, man.
Thank you very much. Right, has anybody got any other questions for either Mark or Scott?
I haven't, but I have got one thing that I did forget to say earlier, and I did promise to say it, so I will do now, and I'm just trying to find it. There is a North East Vapors meet this Saturday at the Mountain Daisy, Hilton Road, Sunderland, which is free entry, and there's a raffle, and there's 100% goes to charity. So I did just promise I'd say that.
I've got one more thing as well. I've got one little thing, and I've heard a little dicky bird say that Prohibition Vapes is opening a shop in Tunbridge Wells.
I have heard the same.
Have you heard the same? Brilliant.
I
Well,
heard the
it's
same.
about time we're going to have a decent vape shop in the Wells. Good luck, fellas. Let me know. Get in touch, because we need a venue for our vape meets from now on.
Well,
So.
I've got one question, right, and I don't know if this has been touched on or not, or what you've gone through, right, but the high end, because Mark's kind of getting involved in the high end.
We have done that one, Scott. We have done that one, Greg.
God damn it, I'm going to have to watch the fucking...
Mate.
You're going to have to keep up, mate. Yeah.
Craig,
watch it.
have you
Fuck
seen
off,
my
man.
picture, Craig? Have you seen the picture this week?
I've seen your one.
No, this.
What?
Look, we had you on the show, man.
Oh, Rick.
Well, you weren't here, so I wanted you to be with us. So you're there.
Your
Just for this
picture
week.
one looks like... I look like female Satan.
Oh, I'm fond of that picture. It makes me feel nice inside.
I'm sure. And,
Moist.
and a little bit
A
outside.
little bit moist too. Yeah, I must admit.
I hate you.
Wind it up. Come on.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching Whipping the Ideal Home Show with special guests Mark Todd of Todd's Reviews, showing us what it's all about, and
Thank you, Mark.
and being a very professional host. And
Thank you, Scott.
And we've also had Mr. Scott Bonner, I guess you're 69, from www.e-sig-reviews.com.
Thank you, Scott.
Yay! Nice one,
Thank you
Scott.
very much for joining us tonight, and
Thank
thank
you.
you to all our guests. We will see you this time, well, not this time, but 9 o'clock next Thursday in the usual spots. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.